Hi, so this is a tutorial on how to do realistic sounding metal drums using only 3 plugins. Now ignore the fact that there's no bass, guitars and vocals in this. My laptop is a potato, so for that reason there aren't any, and for that reason I use a really old version of FL Studio. Well, there are other reasons too, but I mean that's the main reason. 9 times out of 10 if I do something it's because my laptop is a potato. So anyway, I'll force you to listen from here to here, and I'll put a song snippet at the end, like of this full song with guitars and all. But for now, just focus on the drums because there is literally nothing else to focus on. Now, if you're a drummer, you're gonna say, that doesn't sound realistic at all. It's even physically impossible to play at one part. Yeah, true, but who cares? You are probably not a drummer. You're watching this because you don't have a drummer. So, obviously the first thing you need is empty power drum kit. Honestly, ever since I found this, my life has been so much easier. If you want to copy these settings, just pause the video. They are not different from the standard default settings, aside from a couple of things. But yeah. Anyway, then these all come from the same sound font pack. I'll include description links to download those, and also from this one, of course. Anyway, so the most important thing, arguably, is the mixing. Now, obviously this is something you have to do along with the tone of the guitars and bass and all that. So there's some things missing from the picture here. When I say some things, I mean most of it. But anyway, so the first thing is reverb first. Now I know some people will say never put reverb first. But it's good to do that, because you want it to be thick. And without reverb, it's a very small difference. Like, it's very subtle, but in a full mix, that subtle makes a big difference. And then this EQ, this is the most important thing, because the snare is really, really overpowering. No matter how low you turn it here, it's gonna sound like ass if you don't EQ it out. So just compare. Yeah. So for that reason, because this snare is like, it doesn't sound good at all, you will want to use some sound font snares. Personally, I really like these. The most I like this one, here. But I didn't use it for the blast beat parts, so for those I used this, and which is, and this. So without those, it sounds kind of boring. And they just add realism, and obviously then just these sound kind of really dull and unrealistic and boring. But it doesn't matter what things sound like on their own. Only the context of the song matters. So everything you do, you have to do in the context of the full song, in the full mix. Which is missing here, so that's really convenient for you. But anyway, obviously some universal, or almost universal, things are that you want to leave some room for the guitars and bass. So you want to EQ out the real low lows, because you have the bass coming here like, and obviously the vocals are not as important to consider when mixing. I say that as primarily a vocalist, but whatever. So then soul force and saturator. This is kind of a thing that I probably know a lot of people do, but I don't know if anybody admits doing this. Instead of turning down the volume, they turn it up. So, like, you want to brick wall the shit out of everything. And for that reason, that sounds really weak, you know? But then you add the... but this makes it more thick than if you just turn up the volume. And thickness really is everything. And you have to spell the word with 2 C's, not a C and a K. Anyway, on these ones that are grey here, there is only just a little bit of reverb and some EQ to get the real kind of mids more in there than the highs and lows. And then Soundgoodizer. Obviously, this is something you will have only if you use FL Studio. If you don't have Soundgoodizer, well, just use something else to make it sound good. When you don't have a real drum, I mean, real drummer playing real drums, the thing is, it will be harder to get the drums to hit hard. And so you have to do some things that a real drummer probably wouldn't do. That's my perspective on it. So for that reason, I also do things like here, on this pattern, this would be impossible to play. There's a tom, and then there's a snare, and, well, cymbals, but like this is, well, 3 cymbals, but kind of, it sounds like 1, you know? Because this is the thing, when you do drums with a computer, you will layer things in a way that doesn't really make sense, you know? From the perspective of if you want to keep it real, you know? So you don't want to keep it real. But yeah, anyway, I think that's it. If I forgot anything, just, well, I mean, let me know in the comments. Hopefully this was useful. If it was, then please like, maybe subscribe.